You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo. Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Shadowing it. Roy, I'm scared of Backward Cap Billy with the mischievous grin, and I'm scared of Backward Cap Billy with a mischievous grin.
Me?
On a day that there's no Chris Cody.
Oh, because he's got a tight ship here.
Yeah,
no Stugotz, no Mike Ryan, no Lewis. It's just Billy, and now Billy's turned his...
No Lewis.
Let me Lewis hasn't been to work in 3 weeks. Where is the... He's been missing more than Stugotz.
Who are you to talk? Your brother was here working last week, and you weren't
I
for some reason.
I didn't approve that, by the way.
I don't really understand...
We liked him better.
Our vacation policy is not something that I totally get. But it seems nice.
Some people get to never work, and other people never get to take vacation.
Exactly. And I'm always here.
That's how it works.
Well, wait a minute.
Some people have kids also on spring break, and they have to come in every day this week, and they don't spend any time with their family.
Mine
That's how
too.
it works.
Yep.
And other people just went on vacation, and they're back on vacation again now this week. So
I don't understand our policy. I know that you guys always think that I'm the hot dog meme pointing back at himself like the Spider-Man meme, but that I'm Tim Robinson. But I find myself wondering how it is we're going to withstand it. And in the breach steps superhero Jonathan Zaslow.
Yeah, where's Stugotz?
Zaz looks like radio.
You said that the other day. What does that mean?
It's mean. That's exactly what it is.
Is it mean?
it's not a compliment.
No, I thought I'm looking handsome these days.
I think you look great.
Thank you.
The ball look is definitely working for you.
All right, thank you.
In outfit and demeanor, he looks like radio. He comes in. Look, I think I'm going to start the show just asking Zaslow an assortment of questions so that we can get to know the Zaslow wardrobe, for example.
Oh, my wife was not pleased with today's wardrobe.
That's a great jacket.
Thank you. My wife was not happy. I go into the closet in the morning, I pick out whatever is the handiest, whatever's the closest. The lights are not on in the bedroom. It's early in the morning. And she looks at me. She goes, that is a terrible, terrible outfit. And I couldn't care less. What do I care? Who am I trying to impress?
See, that's the thing. But I've got a lot of questions because you guys have to understand that the Zaslow I know never wants to leave Cooper City.
Oh, they got everything I need.
When he doesn't want to see the world, doesn't want to see Europe.
My wife's going to Europe on Wednesday this week. I'm staying in Cooper City.
And is thrilled because he'll just watch Panther games.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Cooper City?
What? It's a suburb in Broward, and it's got everything I need, man.
Publix and everything.
Yeah, it's got a Publix. It's got a gas station in case I need to go somewhere. It's got a liquor store. I'm good to go.
I'm telling you that as close to Venice as Zaz will ever get if a college football game is not played there now that ESPN is making him travel is one of those canals on the outskirts of Cooper City. Like that, he'll vacation there. He doesn't want... I'm going to ask a question here. How many coats do you like? You've traveled with college football. When that experiment began, how many coats did you own?
It's a great question. I was not fully prepared for how cold the end of the college football season was going to be. Like when I'm going to South Bend, Indiana, I was not prepared for that. I need to do a much better job before next college football season. I was cold, man.
You didn't answer my question.
Yeah, I don't have coats. Cooper City doesn't get that cold.
You didn't own a coat before traveling for college football season?
No, and I was just wearing, like hooded sweatshirts, and hope that does the trick.
In Wisconsin?
It was so cold. Ann Arbor, Michigan. It was really cold.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Is everyone mad at March Madness? Not enough drama and buzzer beaters and upsets and stories and fun and what? Why are you making a face, Tony?
Come on, because I don't like that we get this once a year, okay? We have this incredible tournament where there's basketball everywhere and there's hoops everywhere, and I got my wife being like, are you really going to watch college basketball? I'm like, yeah, babe, it's March. That's what I do in March. We watch college hoops. And yeah, there hasn't been a ton of upsets. There haven't been a ton of buzzer beaters. There have been a ton of the secret sauce, though.
There is always the secret sauce of the white guy. Going into this tournament, I told you my analysis was everyone's going to shoot 35%. And so when you go and you watch St. John's, and God bless Calipari here, who beats Self, and he's got to feel so good. He has to feel so good today, taking out Pitino and Self at Arkansas. But so everyone told you before St. John's, hey, they can't shoot threes and they can't shoot free throws. Can't do either of those. And it's like, okay, if they can't do those, that seems to be problematic in those pesky 1-on-1 situations that everyone's going to get bothered by when they're gambling on these games.
Does Calipari feel better right now than the Kentucky fan is angry? I mean, Cal missed he lost in the first round, what was it, 5 consecutive years before he left there? And now, coaching his ass off. He's the best story of the tournament.
It is nuts that there are only 4 conferences remaining, and one of them's there only because Duke's still there. Like, otherwise, you'd have this dominated by all of these same teams, and a lot of people see in that St. John's and Arkansas game, which is the one a lot of people were looking forward to. Oh, my God, that's horrific.
Woof.
That is horrific to watch 4 for 41 from 3. You've never seen a tournament game where the shooting is that bad. And you realize that no matter how much money is in it, paid for it, or gambled on it, they're not pros. They're learning how to play basketball, and we're just betting on them younger. Like they're not good yet.
It's almost like college kickers. Like, where do the NFL kickers come from? Because every college kicker I see sucks.
Terrible.
That's hard to do. It seems like a hard job. College kicking seems like that's not that easy just because the pros Steph makes it look like that, so we get mad at Pitino for not coaching St. John's better at threes. Like, that's the damage that does.
Get some guy that can shoot 3. The secret sauce, every coach knows going into March, I need one guy who's white who can shoot. And Pitino has none of them.
I love the attention that Calipari's got. I know he's super polarizing. A lot of people don't like him. You could say that he underachieved, even though he won a national championship at Kentucky. Think of what Calipari's done this year. That Arkansas team was terrible to start the season. Then they went to Lexington. The whole story. Pitino's putting out a video. Don't boo Cal. You should treat him with respect. And Calipari goes into Lexington, and they kick the crap out of that Kentucky team. And then we get to the tournament. Not only in the Sweet 16, but he beats Bill Self and Pitino on the way. This is a grand slam of a year that Calipari's had.
How do I turn him down a little in the morning? What do I need to do to turn the Zaslow down a little bit?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm at exactly the right level right now.
Yeah, he needs the energy.
He's doing good. I mean, this is morning. He's here. He's getting everybody up.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Thank you for asking. The games weren't worthy of that kind of enthusiasm. The enthusiasm that he is presently showing for this weekend's games. This weekend's games were a disappointment.
Here's the thing, though. I like what happened. I don't like all the upsets. I don't like all the sin. Now, I would like some madness. We got the madness.
There was no madness.
Maryland was the only madness.
There was that was madness.
Right, that was it.
There wasn't enough madness.
There was not enough madness, but I don't like all the upsets. I like when the big teams win. I want the huge matchups in the Sweet 16. I don't need a 12 versus an 8 in the Sweet 16. I want the great games next weekend, and that's what we're getting now. I was fine with this weekend.
Okay, I want to talk about a couple of the college basketball stories, but because this is the local hour, and I know one of the reasons that Zaz is fired up is that he doesn't like the people who are taking shots at Pat Riley, I would imagine.
So fight somebody, fight me.
Well, as I mentioned. So the Miami Heat break a 10-game losing streak, the longest since 2008 last night.
Great night.
Oh, that's what it looks like when you trade for Andrew Wiggins. Okay, that's what that was supposed to look like.
That guy's a pretty good scorer,
42 points. And against Charlotte in a game that means absolutely nothing, but that would help in the fourth quarter over the last month, over the 10 losses. That's not the Wiggins that we have seen. That is not the Heat we have seen. The thing that I wanted to ask you guys about, though, because I'm sure as I can feel Jessica drift off to sea, and I don't even blame her on just Miami Heat talk because
come on, get excited.
I don't think anybody. I don't think.
Well, it's a big game. It brought him to 11 games under 500.
For that reason, I don't believe that anybody wants to hear Heat talk. However, tomorrow, there is a game that Jimmy Butler is saying is just another game that he's already been spotted in Miami playing dominoes, and Zaz was scared of going into that game on an 11-game losing streak.
On national TV, games on TNT tomorrow. You think anyone will be talking about that? Jimmy Butler coming in, they've lost like a game since acquiring him, and the Heat on an 11-game losing skid. You think I need that in my life?
So this is where we are with the Miami Heat, and I am torn, though, because about the only thing worth talking about, like none of these games matter. Like we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler. Denver-Houston was interesting yesterday, and nobody cares. Like basketball people care. Basketball people are like, oh, that's an amazing story in Houston. And, oh, Udoka just gets to turn it around like that. We never find out what actually happened. He cleans it up, and he goes and he fixes Houston. But Denver's better, and Denver's a champion, and we all think Denver can win the championship, while none of us think that Houston can win the championship. But the sport is run at the moment by storylines, by drama, because that regular season game doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter whether Houston or Denver is 2 or 3. We could talk about it, but it doesn't matter. And so people latch on to the stuff like Jimmy's back in town. You're mad at people who are coming after Pat Riley?
Yeah, and I'll give you a storyline, by the way. Headline tomorrow night on TNT. They could steal it from me if they want. Warriors, 0-1 over their last game. Heat, 1-0. You want a storyline?
Those are just facts.
Lead with that.
That's not a good.
One team's hot, one team's not, Dano.
Be fair.
That's not a good lead.
Be fair. No, I am mad because you know what's you have everyone out there on their podcasts or everybody's got a podcast. Everyone's got a podcast.
Don't you?
And yes, but I'm a professional broadcaster, all right? Everyone's got a podcast. Also, because Miami Radio kicked me out. So I got a podcast, all right? And everybody's got a podcast now. And everyone is taking pot shots at Pat Riley. It's like, all right, we've all been waiting, apparently, for the opportunity to finally be super critical and put Pat Riley out to pasture, apparently. And you know how you know that everybody's been waiting? Because the Heat were in the finals 2 years ago. It's not like they were in the finals 22 years ago. They were in the finals 2 years ago. So the very first opportunity to take a shot at Pat Riley, everybody's doing it now, and I don't like it.
All right, so we've got plenty of Heat homers around here. I should explain to the people who may be new to us, as Zaz has to explain to his 16-year-old son who David Sampson is, that Zaz is not just a Miami radio legend. I would nominate him for honorary shipping container member because when 790 started, when all of us started in radio, Zaz was there the first day.
Original employee.
Was there the first day doing what the shipping container would do for us, for Boog Shambi. And so I believe that Zaz is worthy of being an honorary shipping container member. Tony shakes his head vigorously. No,
it's just when...
You know I'm sitting right here, right?
I'm going to explain it to you, and I think you're going to agree with me, which is why you can't be a shipping container member, right? You sit on that side of the glass.
Exactly.
We sit on this side of the glass.
It's a class system.
It's a class system.
It's a demotion for you.
You don't sit here and do your show here. You sit there and do your show there. So there's kind of a separation between us.
No, wait a minute. Like, Amin, if you give Amin his choice, he would rather be in there. Amin
is a shipping container member. That's the difference.
Also, I'm above Amin, you're saying?
No, Amin splits time, but he's honorary here.
Stugotz is also in the shipping container.
Also, yes.
I would say when I say honorary shipping container member, I'm bestowing upon him an honor from a group I have found historically distrustful about allowing others into the inner circle. It takes a minute. Nobody's ever arrived here and just gets to be good with the shipping container.
Do you trust me?
I do have a story about Zaz I've never mentioned on air ever.
Boy.
This is actually a really good story.
This is fun now. It's exciting.
Okay, so I used to work at 790s as a promotion assistant, right? And we would
did?
Yeah.
This does not reflect well on me already.
Well, he was employed. He was employed as a promotion assistant. The working is.
I mean, I did my job. We went to like a car dealership, and I would have to spin the wheel, and all that stuff. So,
a hustler. These were the beginnings.
Dan,
the beginnings of the Kaladiud hustle.
Exactly right.
Passed down from your father.
All of a sudden, we're coming back from tropical Chevrolet somewhere far away. Right? We get there. It's nighttime. It's a heat game, and in the studio, I peek through. There used to be, in the 790 studio, there was a window like this big through the door. It was like a submarine door. And I looked in, and they were on break, and it was Zaslow and Tommy Tighe. And I was like, oh, my God.
Like what a crew.
I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe it.
Radio.
It's Zaslow
and
Tommy Tighe.
Tony, did it or did it not look like radio?
Looked and smelled like radio.
You should have walked down the other hallway. There's a giant glass. It was like a fish tank.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to look into where the studio was. So I was there, and then I kind of poked my head in. And at the same time, Zaz is trying to throw a paper away. So he's shooting like a garbage jump shot where I'm opening the door. So as I open the door, the garbage flings at me. It misses me. It hits you made the shot, by the way. Made it. And I'm like, hey, Zaz, hey, Tommy, just big fan, whatever. Didn't say anything and then just
I cannot believe that.
You got big time.
I don't know if
you, man.
Wow.
Screw
He
you.
had the headphones on, so I don't know if he heard me or not. I didn't know if he was like...
Okay, important detail. You said I had the headphones on? All right, come on. There's no way that I would just straight up ignore you.
Getting back to the original content... Tony hit a nerve there.
I'm just saying. I had never.
He threw garbage at you. That was hello.
And then didn't answer me.
And ignored
Hey,
him.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Oh my God, it's John Zaslow.
You throw garbage at you
sorry.
and doesn't speak to you. That's the headline.
Yeah.
Who does qualify as an honorary shipping container member?
Mina.
Has she ever even been in a shipping container?
Yeah, she did Roy's Rome.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Forgive me. My apologies.
I actually turned to Tommy Tighe. I said, show him out, please.
Don't make eye contact, kid, and get out of here.
Let's talk about something that makes watching college hoops even better. Evan Williams Bourbon. It's game day's #1 pour. The perfect addition from tip-off traditions to buzzer-beater celebrations. This award-winning bourbon is extra aged for a taste that's smooth, rich, and easy to enjoy, whether neat, on the rocks, or in a classic cocktail. Personally, I like to drink it on the rocks. So, whether it's a pre-game pour or a post-win nightcap, make every game day moment even better with Evan Williams. Visit evanwilliams.com to find a bottle near you. Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Bardstown, Kentucky, 43 to 45% alcohol by volume. Enjoy responsibly. 21 and older.
Don Le Batard.
To us residents.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty
It's in there. It's better.
You think I haven't been practicing?
Stugotz.
Oh.
I didn't realize we had a substitute complicated legacy.
Brought to you by Headquarter Toyota. 441 Powerline Road. Second down and 9.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Jeremy was doing his reports from the game yesterday, and I saw him reporting on behalf of Advancing Through Dancing. He was effervescent. Jeremy is bubbly as a sideline reporter. Perpetual enthusiasm.
Yeah, I bring the energy, Dano.
You know, it's my job to make sure that as the Heat are on a 10-game losing streak, that's not reflected in the broadcast. We're here for people to have a great time, to enjoy each individual game, and if I can put a smile on somebody's face, I'm going to do that with my energy and my smiling face.
Okay, so, and this is where it is that we get called Heat homers, and a criticism that was levied at me here recently as it regards Pat Riley is when I was saying that I got aggregated for saying around here that Jimmy's unstable ingredient had made it so that when he left the Heat organization, there was a relief in the building. And a lot of people, and I understand why they would make this criticism, suggested that I'm just doing mouthpiece work on behalf of executives when I say that. But I wasn't even talking about executives. I was talking about employees. I'm not even talking about the players. I was just talking about like relief in the building, that whatever that tension was, I was talking to simply about the funny thing about the report and it getting aggregated is that people naturally assumed, oh, Pat Riley's whimpering to Dan about how bad Jimmy was at the end. And it's like, no, I know people who work there and they were like really uncomfortable, not just at the end, long before the end because of whatever it is. Like, I don't even know what it is to work in the secrecy of that building where you're not allowed to say anything about anything to anybody, that basketball is this supreme holy thing that can't be touched. And whatever Jimmy's doing in that setting, Jimmy's getting whatever he wants.
I ran into someone from the Heat at the beginning of the season, the very beginning of the season, someone who I used to see all the time when I was on the broadcast. How you doing? Good to see you. How's everything going?
You answered him, huh?
And the answer was, everything's all right, just dealing with Jimmy. And this was the very beginning of the season before anything became public with him being angry. His answer was, yeah, everything's good, just, dealing with Jimmy.
Okay, so one of the things, though, because I don't want to do revisionist history here, not only did that win, putting the coal in that furnace of conflict, like this one to me is super rich for study. Whatever you believe to be that organization over the last 20 years, it thrived in a way that would be really uncomfortable, I think, for most human beings in conflict, okay? I would not call it a toxic workplace, but there is a boss over the conflict, and the conflict is fuel. The conflict's not bad. The conflict makes everyone who's fighting over money in minutes better. The conflict makes everyone stronger, but you wouldn't want to work around it, and the best of it was Jimmy. And Jimmy wanted to fight UD, and Spo wanted to fight Jimmy, and whatever the manifestations of that are every day, I don't think I'd like to work around it. I think I would crumble around it. Now, I'm weaker than the people in these workplaces. One of the reasons I love studying the arena is because, my God, they're all bigger, stronger, faster. They're all speeding up, learning, fighting for money on what the height of competition is, where you've got to earn your shit. You've got to hunt and kill what you eat for your family. And it's the top 1% of the top 1%. And conflict is the place you're going to get there, and we're going to contain it for culture. For 5 years, we're going to ride that particular locomotive, and then it explodes. And what you're left with is a relief, but also losing. But also, you're terrible. So now what? Like, what do you do as a sports fan to put the two things together where you can say, no, man, whatever Jimmy was doing, maybe it wasn't professional, maybe you didn't like it, maybe you didn't like it only when you couldn't totally harness it, but whatever he was doing was the winning. Like, at the center of it, it was him, and he took it with him.
Yeah, but I feel like the way that you're phrasing it is that the Heat were done with it, and that's why Jimmy's gone. No, the Heat were totally good with it still happening. Jimmy's the one who made them get rid of him. Like, he was under contract for this season and essentially next season as well. The Heat, by all accounts, wanted him to play out that entire contract.
My point is, in the age of player empowerment, what happens when you can't harness the conflict? It's all fine when you can harness the conflict. Oh, whatever, UD and Jimmy might fight with Spo. It's good video. It doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. Like, what happens when you can't harness it? I've told you guys the story before. Shaq wanted to fight Riley. They escorted him out with security like they always do with employees, but Shaq wanted to fight Riley and wasn't allowed back in the building. Riley will say of a conflict with Alonzo Mourning where it seemed like Alonzo Mourning was going to punch his coach because they were face to face. You can say bleep you to me. Just teach me something. When that's an environment, I'm legitimately asking you guys, what happens when you can't harness the conflict?
You trade him, and the team falls apart because the culture is really just nonsense to sell season tickets. It's all about the talent. And when you get rid of the most talented players on your team, you have off seasons that are not good and seasons that are bad.
You're going to take that, Zaslow?
I mean, it's an argument that we can go round and round about. I feel like you're saying it just to aggravate me that the culture is just something to sell tickets.
Welcome to my world, my friend.
I mean,
not?
Like, you're just trying to get under my skin here. You're not talking about a franchise.
Billy?
You're not talking about
Falsehoods.
a franchise that's been terrible for several years. Yes, this has been a bad year. And I kind of feel like I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt to fix it in the offseason. Now, I think this is a huge offseason. I think it's an offseason like maybe they've never had before because of the conversation around the team. But it's one bad season that they've had now.
Well, but they got rid of their star. That's what I'm saying, is the culture exists when you have the
and they'll
star.
get another one.
Yeah, and then the culture will be back.
Yeah, they'll get another.
Because it's just talent.
Well, it's hard to, it's hard to do this when you don't have any good players. They'll get another star. They've had how many different iterations of, winning teams have they had with Pat Riley there? They've done it over and over again. They're going to do it again. They'll get someone else this offseason.
The reality is, too, like, the emotional baggage of all of this and Andrew Wiggins missing half the game since he showed up, they haven't been able to get into a groove, and it's been one bad season. But to act like Jimmy was maximized by this group and sort of the revisionist history because they didn't make certain transactions, I think that's the weird part of this, is Jimmy played the best basketball of his career and the most winning basketball of his career with Spo as his coach, with Bam as his co-star, and with all of the surrounding pieces that they had. This is just what happened. And so to look back at it now and act like he brought something to the organization and then took it with him when he left that was never there before.
At worst, it was 50-50.
Right. It was a great partnership. That's why there's so many people around the organization and within the fan base who were so frustrated by the things he said after the last Warriors game, sort of dismissing it as just like a cute little time that he had with some friends, when he still hasn't said anything about the guys that were his co-stars. I think most people are frustrated by the fact that, he still hasn't said anything about a guy like Bam, who took every single bullet that you could imagine while Jimmy was there as sort of his shield, the way Draymond is for Steph.
I do wonder
all
what that
the little
was,
things.
I do wonder what that was like behind the scenes, because one of my, something that I feel like is fair to be critical of Bam about, when Jimmy was still here this year, and Bam's the captain, it's like, why are you allowing this behavior? Why, if you're Heat culture guy and you're an extension of the coach and you're an extension of Pat Riley and you're the captain of the team, I don't feel like Udonis Haslem is allowing Jimmy Butler to go out into the game and shoot one-legged fadeaway three-pointers. But I don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
Well, but again, I ask you, what happens when you can't harness the conflict? Bam lived in service of Jimmy.
Yep.
That's what it looks like.
Well, no, but was rewarded for it. Bam does what PR asks him to do. Bam is great team spokesman. Bam is nice. Bam is also not as aggressive as you'd like him to be.
But if you're the captain of the team, how are you allowing a guy to be on the floor with you and actively not try?
What's he gonna do?
That part bothers me.
Fight him?
Yeah, when he's better than you, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? That's why, from the an outsider's perspective, that's why they roll their eyes at the whole culture stuff, because the culture exists as long as the superstar wants to indulge it and participate in the culture. He did not want to be participating in the culture, and to what you guys are saying, everyone behind the scenes we just have to kind of put up with whatever Jimmy's doing. So
he never
just
did,
dealing with him. Yeah, so then there's not actually a culture.
No, they built a culture around what they did. They maximized the player. They maximized all of the other guys around him. That work ethic never left those guys. And Jimmy was there working that way until they brought in his friend in Kyle Lowry, and then those guys separated themselves from the locker room.
You guys act like people don't work hard on other teams to make rosters. That's the part I don't understand about this.
You can look around the entire NBA. There's nobody who has taken as many second-round picks in the last decade and turned them into serviceable NBA players. They've gotten contracts elsewhere and with the team. It's silly to put it down as nothing, but also hyping it up as if it's the only thing that matters and that talent doesn't matter would be short-sighted. I am not saying that they don't need better players on the roster to be able to compete for championships, but it's been about the little things that allow you to be a 5 seed in the bubble that makes the run to the finals, that allows you to be an 8 seed that makes the run to the finals. That's where you can hang your hat on it, and you can laugh at it. And by the way, if you're nationally listening to this, you probably should, because this will be the one opportunity to do so.
We don't
because they'll come back.
Roy, you're totally right. And I know you were talking to just me. I know, but you're totally right. There's no need to hang a hat on that.
Yeah, why are we hanging hats?
Why can't LeBron just have his cookies? Fly on the plane, you just chocolate chip cookies,
that
and then it's
story's
fine.
bullshit. Come on.
What?
Oh, okay.
LeBron?
Get out of here.
Why would he make that up?
Why would Pat Riley, who doesn't travel with the team, send a text message to the servers on the plane and say no more cookies?
Culture.
What are you talking about?
Billy actually moved away from the microphone as if something had exploded nearby just because look, I would like to play these particular notes for the next 2 days, Billy, because I know you can get Zaslow easily agitated, and you haven't had one of those.
That's not what I'm doing. We're just having a conversation about the Heat, the culture, the cookies, etc.
It's Monday morning. I feel good about the tournament. I feel good about the Panthers yesterday. The Heat snapped that streak, so they don't have to go into tomorrow with an 11-game losing.
One.
That's right. I said that. I own that statement. And you get me riled up over nonsense here. Cookies? You know that story's not true. It's stupid.
Dan reported it was ice cream that they took away from LeBron.
Took away.
It was ice cream.
He had a spoonful. He was about to put it in his mouth, and a flight attendant slapped it out of his hand, and they opened the emergency exit and threw the ice cream carton out the airplane.
No, that's not how that went.
I remember.
Okay, I understand, but that's always because you're here to help.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and how great is this weather? We're getting out of the coldest part of winter into the early on-stage spring. I know down south, the weather is perfect. It is perfect Miller time weather. You got MLB, MLS, you got NHL, you got all the sports going on, plenty of excuses to gather around a TV and have yourself a wonderful Miller time, thanks to Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. Now is a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. With taste that you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. I hate gimmicks. Just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers because it has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and that iconic golden color. At just 96 calories and 3.2 grams per 12 ounces, Miller time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I, for one, am someone that can struggle with technology, even though I've been raised in the age of technology. Do you ever feel overwhelmed trying to manage your web hosting while juggling a million other tasks? Even if tech isn't your thing, Kinsta's managed WordPress hosting is a relief. Their expert team handles it all. They've bundled up all the essentials to make sites stress-free with speeds that'll wow your visitors, security that never sleeps, and a dashboard so intuitive, you'll wonder why everything isn't this easy. And when you hit a snag, you'll talk to real humans 24/7, 365. Actual people who get it, not AI chatbots, which is a rarity these days, seemingly. Kinsta will give you peace of mind and let you focus on your business rather than dealing with technical issues. For us, that means more time watching the games and getting you the best takes possible without having to worry about troubleshooting tech issues. Tired of being your own website support team? Switch your hosting to Kinsta and get your first month free. And don't worry about the move. They'll handle the whole transition for you. No tech expertise required. Just visit kinsta.com/Dan to get started. That's KINSTA.com/Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
We didn't get to your guys' against the spread.
You're right. Dude.
I don't have it against the spread because I wasn't prepared for this segment.
You need
And
an Ian in your life.
You have actively played defense against me today in a way that has rarely been this undercutting.
Stugotz.
Defense wins championships, baby. That's show business.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
My wife this weekend described Santa as sexy because he just runs around giving you gifts and all he needs is cookies. You just made me think of that because
Milk
you brought up cookies. And she's also got a type, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm better shaped here for Santa than anybody in our offices, correct?
Yes, you're the biggest person here.
Yeah.
No, for Santa.
Danny
not-
could be Santa.
Biggest. I'm just saying that Danny would be a good Santa.
Yeah, short Santa,
That's
but
a short.
Santa.
No, but Santa. I don't feel
Santa's
like
got to be big. though, right?
Yeah.
I feel like doesn't he?
He's got to carry the big
How
sack.
tall does
I don't
Santa?
know.
How tall does Santa have to be? He can't be Danny's size.
Why?
Because Danny's like 5'5".
He's got to be
So?
6 foot plus. Santa's got to be over 6 feet.
Definitely.
65 inches, some say.
Definitely.
I don't envision Santa as this giant you're making
It
him
doesn't
out
have to be a giant. He just can't be 5'5". Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can Santa be 5'5"?
You have to be small to get into chimneys.
No, but he can contort his body in a different way. That's a whole different story.
You're saying Danny is 5'5"?
Well, how tall is Danny? I don't know how tall. He just said that's correct in my ear. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, damn. Okay, you're right.
It's okay.
65
job,
inches.
Dan.
You work with this person, and so
Dan, you got a good gauge for height. Yeah.
well, but I
5'5".
think everyone listening to this would agree with the premise and would say to me, Dan, you are correct. My child cannot believe in a 5'5" Santa, even if my child is small and wants to have representation in the world. Santa can't be 5'5".
Also, he can't be 5'5" because then it feels like the elves would kind of rebel if they saw Santa as a little bit taller than them. They'd be like, "Hey, wait a second, you're not telling us what to do.
Wait,
buddy.
how
We're
tall?
not making toys."
How tall are they?
Small.
Tell you what, a Jewish Santa would be 5'5".
Yeah, that's right.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Would a Jewish Santa be 5'5"?
Janta.
So Michigan was 8-24 with Juwan Howard. That was kind of a really nice story, and then it wasn't. And next thing you know, I'm watching 7-footers set screens for each other, and Michigan is in the Sweet 16 because they did the thing. They got hot at the right time.
Dusty May, good coach.
Yes, there's that.
Tim Allen's 5'10". He played Santa.
Okay, that's a good height for him. That's a good height for Santa.
I'm going to look for the shortest Santas, Dan. I'll get back to you.
When I do word association on Tim Allen, I do cocaine trafficking, ended up in prison just because it was so shocking to me to learn that the guy who was on Home Improvement did a ride in prison over cocaine sales.
I think of Woody from Toy Story, but...
Two Americans, Dan. Two Americans.
Was Jeremy just surprised by that, Jeremy?
I learned that on a podcast like a month ago and simply could not believe it. Because also, like Billy, Woody or Santa Claus.
I was going to say, Woody is not.
Oh, Buzz Lightyear. Right. Yeah. Right. Woody's Tom Hanks, of course. You know what? My mistake.
I think of the mugshot, Dan, where it's like him holding like the little letters that they put into like that thing, and he's holding it there like that.
You would
with
never
like a Hawaiian shirt on or something, right?
You would never catch Woody doing lines. That's why you can't be Woody.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a Google Doc or something, or just a phone line where people can call in with facts that shock them like that, because you all have them. You all have these little things that you learned about people, and I'd like to go around the room right now. In fact, if you guys needed to surprise somebody by saying to them, you're having a conversation about whatever, and you've got a fact in your arsenal that would be that you learned and it was shocking for you to learn, and then you felt the need to share it with somebody. I should give you more time than this and more preparation.
Yeah, that'd be great, Dan.
Here's one.
Tim Allen made me think of it because I always say it when Tim Allen makes an appearance. It's the first thought.
I think of cocaine.
It's the first thought that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Asner was 5'7". He played Santa Claus.
Ed Asner is pushing. He's pushing it. He was pushing it. The late Ed Asner, and Lou Grant struck me as taller than that. Like he played bigger. He repped bigger.
Lou Grant.
It's like Draymond Green. He plays over his size.
Yes. Ed Asner played bigger than. Put it on the poll at Levitard Show. Did Ed Asner play bigger than 5'7"?
Defending Giannis,
I mean, he did. He was. Oh, that's a fine. Zaslow.
That's a fine.
That's so amateur.
That's why you can't be an honorary shipping container member. We know back here we gotta get the phone.
I didn't hear it.
Amateur mistake, Zaslow.
Dan, I have a top 5 for honorary shipping container members.
Oh, you have a top 5? Oh, this is very exciting. Yes, I would love a top 5.
Are you a member?
Buddy.
Tracy Morgan's 5'9". He played Santa.
Any OLI?
No OLI. We'll get straight to it. Number 5, Taylor. Seems to always be hanging out underneath the desk here. If you live here, you're an honorary member.
Billy, did you vote on that?
No.
It's not his list. It's my list, Dan.
Okay, sorry.
Number 4, we got to pay homage to the ones that came before us. Old Money Charlie. Old Money Charlie at 4. All right. Number 3, Izzy. Izzy spends a lot of time here in the shipping container. We're very happy with Izzy. He does occasionally go to the other side of the glass when he needs to, but his home is here in the shipping container with us. Number 2, Amin. Also a guy that can play both sides, right? He's here with us, and then he goes in with Dan when he needs to and be Mr. Serious Guy, but then he can come back here and play with us when it's convenient for him.
He's playing both sides.
Playing both sides. And number 1, Bobby.
Good list.
Okay, it's not a bad list, but the reason that I wanted to do it, because some of those people are actually in and out of the shipping container, I was thinking of the entire story of going back to first day 790. Not even Sedano goes back that far. I'm trying to go back and grab the people who would know the story of this show from the inside of it as if they were a shipping container member.
I do.
Because that's why I'm nominating Zaslow. I'm nominating Zaslow because he understands the specifics of how we do our show.
I saw all of it.
Without needing to be taught any of it.
So Andy King.
Nobody knows who that is. Not even in the shipping container. Andy King, you're right about, but two people, you just mentioned a name that you'd be outvoted in your room by people who simply don't know who you're talking about.
Well, he was originally the executive producer before Hawk came in, and then became.
But I'm also talking about, and forgive me for making all of the rules and definitions on this, but somebody that you guys would also respect enough as having understood what it is to do your job, so you would welcome that person in. Look, this is what happens. One of the things that happens in the friendships around our show or community is people meet immediately, and because they have the show as language, they can take a shortcut to, we like some of the same things. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Zaslow has a life experience that makes, we learned radio together. He learned and we learned how to do all this in the same place at the same time.
Stugotz interviewed me for the job before 790 The Ticket went on air. He was the one I interviewed with and hired me.
Andy King hired me.
Stugotz hired me.
Tim Conway was 5'6".
Not Santa.
Yeah, he played Santa.
He played Santa?
He's too thin to play Santa.
Okay, I'm looking at a list of actors who
I'm sorry.
Santa.
I'm sorry we attacked you.
You're trying to, though, put me in the shipping container, but I feel like they're saying that I'm too big for the
That's
shipping
what I
container.
said. Yeah, that's almost directly.
And what I'm saying is that they don't like you enough to put you in the shipping container.
There is no way I ignored you when you said hello to me.
You didn't say anything back to me, so
it's a
that
pattern.
allows me to think that
it's
you
a pattern.
Me.
I mean, what's the other example
You
to make it a
ignored me
pattern?
when I said you weren't in the shipping container. You were above it. That was just today. Tim Conway, by the way, doesn't really count. It was an animated film, Saving Santa, 2013. Voice actor.
Well, you could do it if, as a voice actor, I guess you could do it, right? That it's okay to be 5'6".
He's got a bigger voice than 5'6", Tim Conway. We can agree, right?
No, I don't think we can agree with that.
Oh.
But I don't think we also want to do a show about Tim Conway. But if you want to talk about old things, there was one in sports this weekend that I don't want to go too much time more without addressing, because in my career, watching sports figures rare is the genuine change I saw about what one man was versus what he became than the one that happened publicly with George Foreman, where he went from the most feared man in the universe, Mike Tyson, before Mike Tyson, to a jolly spokesman for things that you wanted to buy stuff from because he was great at the ministry and great at really reaching the everyman by trying to leave a minister's life, a minister's narcissistic heavyweight life where you have several kids and name all of them George, including your daughter, Georgina. Because he also had like a number of things from his past life that seeped into what some people thought was dehydration, but he said was finding God, and he changed his life from evermore to become a person who America remembers more for the second half of his career and what he invented than for what he did with his athletic gifts were enough to beat to frighten Muhammad Ali and to make Muhammad Ali the boxer that he was because and only because he was able to beat George Foreman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's one of the most famous boxing moments ever, a rope-a-dope. But I feel like Barkley's a similar trajectory there, where like both of them were super nasty. Like Barkley was a nasty man when he played, and a lot of people, like my son, my 16-year-old son, definitely only knows Barkley as the really cool guy, the funny guy who says whatever he wants on TNT. Like Barkley's pretty similar to George Foreman in that regard.
One of the things you were saying earlier about like the random facts that you know about somebody or something that you bring up, the George Foreman grill thing is crazy. Have you heard that story before? Do you know the story?
Oh, thank you. That is excellent producing by you, Tony. Do we have the sound of Hulk Hogan saying they used to share an agent?
Is it true that you passed on the George Foreman grill idea?
No, that's not true. I missed the phone call.
What happened? Tell me the story.
Well, I mean, George Foreman and I had the same agent. And my kids were complaining that I was always towards the end of the line picking them up at school. They would get out of school at 3 o'clock and these soccer moms would start lining up their minivans and talking shop, and so I would come at 2:45, 15 minutes before my kids get out of school, and I was at the back of the bus. So I went to McDonald's early, got Diet Cokes and get the burgers and the fries, and it was a big surprise. I get to the school about 2:15. I was the first one in line. My kids came out, they were all excited. I had the drinks and the hamburgers and stuff. And we went home and I checked my answer machine. And my answer machine, my agent called me. He goes, "Hey, Hogan, I'm calling you. I got two things. I got a grill and I got a blender. I got these two choices for you and George." So when I called him back, my agent says, "Well, I called you first, and I figured you'd take the grill, but you weren't home, so I called George, and he took the grill." So $450 million later, we've got the George Foreman grill in every size and color you can imagine. And I got the blender that you put 8 ounces of water, a scoop of protein, and a AA battery in it. It'd spin 3 times and fart and cut off.
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.
All right, I know I gotta do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat, perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics Lip Gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at NYXCosmetics.com or a retailer near you.